Hello and welcome! I'm Jade of Jaded Reader, and today I am going to be doing my book unhaul. This is going to be painful. So I just did my mid-year freakout tag. I talked about some of my favorite books, some really good reads, and now I have to look at my shelves and go, yeah, you can't take all of these with you to Japan. While I have been putting off some of this, I just know it's gotta happen. I have to get rid of some of these books because even if I am not going to Japan on time, I'm still leaving where I'm currently living in January. By the end of the year, I will either be in a foreign country or in a really small studio apartment waiting for things to chill out. So, not taking all of these books with me. People have been asking me, what are you gonna do with all your books? And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm taking all 47 boxes to Japan. And that's not true. It's time. I will only be going over the books in this video for books that I will be getting rid of, donating, sending away, selling, dispersing out into the greater world. There will be a separate video as we come closer for books I am taking with me, and then books that are going into storage, books I'd like to hold on to long term but don't have to be with me in the short term. I am going to give little tiny reasons here and there why I'm going to be getting rid of these books. This is my rationale. Don't even worry about it. So now that that's out of the way, let's really dig into this because there's a lot. Yeah. Oof. I'm going to start off with the Barnes & Noble editions of these fake rubbery leather-bound books. They're not real leather-bound books, but I really did think they were pretty, and I've kind of lost my reason for having them apart from the fact that they were pretty, and I feel like I can get them elsewhere. So I'll get getting rid of these editions of Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte, The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and Other Stories by Robert Louis Stevenson, Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte, and The Scarlet Letter by Nathaniel Hawthorne. This classic has a totally different reason I'm getting rid of it. I held on to it because it's a really cool edition, but I don't actually like this classic. I was holding on to this copy of Peter Pan, which is really cool and has a whole bunch of pop-ups and stuff. I am not a fan of Peter Pan at all. I found him really creepy. There were racist themes in it. There are plenty of reasons why you can love a classic, but there are also plenty of reasons to hate it. I was one of the ones that hated it, and honestly, I just really can't afford to keep books just because I think they're pretty. It's going in the pile. After that, I have Kushiel's Avatar by Jacqueline Carey. I have no idea what this book is about. The first book is Kushiel's Dart. I think this was just a cover buy for me. It was probably really cheap at a used bookstore. It might be a really cool story, but this is not the first in it, and I don't have the first in the story, so I'm just going to pass it along, and hopefully at some point I'll come across Kushiel's Dart and I'll read it, and I'll ultimately regret my decision. I had a little bit of hesitation with this one, but ultimately I decided to get rid of this copy of Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. This is the large print edition, and it's super floppy, which is great, but I'm not probably going to reread this book, so it's a matter of having it on my shelf. It was a really good book. I think I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I very much so enjoyed the mini-series that came out for it, but I don't need to have it on my shelves. So I'm actually getting rid of a couple different books by my all-time favorite author, Maggie Stiefvater, because while I love Maggie Stiefvater's work, like absolutely adore her writing style, there are a couple of her books that I've just either grown out of or was not as interested in. This is definitely my least favorite of hers, which is All the Crooked Saints. There were really cool moments in this book, but it didn't register to me as something I'd ever want to read again, and I was kind of disinterested while reading it. So yeah, I'm glad that this was not my first Maggie Stiefvater book because I probably would have never picked up another one. Keep that in mind if you're looking into Maggie Stiefvater. As a huge fan, don't read this one first. I have a couple graphic novels here. The first one is Blackbird, The Great Beast by Sam Humphries and Jen Bartel. This cover is gorgeous and the inside illustrations are fantastic. I'm really selling this book because, God, I wish that the dialogue was just as good. The dialogue is not just as good, so it's gonna have to go. I really liked the storyline, the premise, the character designs, all of it was amazing. Could not get past that dialogue. It ended up making me not read the second one. I looked at the second one, saw a lot of the same, and ended up not buying it, so it's so pretty. It has to go. I'm so sorry. Oh, she's staring at me. The next one is Mega Man Rock of Ages, and this is number 5. This is just one I read a while ago. It's super fun and quirky, but I don't need to have it on my shelves, so I'm just gonna have it go elsewhere. Oh, this took me years to unhaul, and it's because I really love this book. The cover of this book is gorgeous. There's nothing I really dislike about this book. The sequel is what's doing this to me, and that is Onyx and Ivory by Mindy Arnett. This was a 5 out of 5 star read for me. One of my favorites of 2018, 2019, I don't know. Point is it was a favorite of mine. I picked up the sequel and hated it, unhauled it, and was like, I'm just gonna pretend this was a standalone, because this is almost a standalone. But in rereading it, it's almost but not quite as standalone, and then it just sours my memory. I have to let it go. After that is a series I really enjoyed, but it's no longer like sparking the joy in me. I don't know what to tell you. These are really great. Definitely my favorite of Cassandra Clare. The only ones I've actually been able to finish of Cassandra Clare, and yeah, gosh, I'm so bummed to get rid of these, but they're so big. They're taking up space, and I don't know if I'll revisit them. If I do, I feel like I could do it on audiobook, ebook. I can rationalize in my head not keeping them, which is definitely when something needs to go when I'm trying to make space for all of these books. I can't keep them. And that is Clockwork Angel, Clockwork Prince, and Clockwork Princess, all by Cassandra Clare. This is such a fun story. It was such a good trilogy. I loved it. It's technically a prequel trilogy, but these are so good and so fun, and I just can't. These are probably one of my largest regrets to unhaul, but when I was looking at placing them next to other things and unhauling other books on my shelves, they ended up losing the race, so they are gone. They are going to go to a good home, most likely Wallace Books, which is funny because that's where I got them from. Going down below there. While you're good and upset about me unhauling Cassandra Clare, it's about to get worse. So, like I said, I was not a fan of the Mortal Instruments series. I thought I was really going to like the Mortal Instruments series, like a lot. I thought I was going to love it. I was wrong. I've been trying to get through since I started book 2. If I can insert a clip, I have receipts. Without a doubt, I plan on reading all of these books. I am tired of missing out on the hype. I am tired of missing out on the passion and the fun, and I really want to be a part of this family. So you can go ahead and watch my last TBR video and just insert City of Bones here. I've been trying for so long. So I invested in the UK paperback edition because they're gorgeous. I love how they look. I love the prequels, but God, I can't do it. I cannot. I can't. I bet it gets really good too. And the longevity it would take for me to get through all of these. I do want to be part of this fan club. I want to like these. I just have never, and I don't know what to do. I feel like there's something wrong with me for not liking these. Let's go through all of them really quick. I'm not gonna do these in order, by the way. Oh wait, they say I'm on the sides. I'll do these in order. We have City of Bones, City of Ashes, City of Glass, City of Fallen Angels, City of Lost Souls, and City of Heavenly Fire, all by Cassandra Clare. I'm going to set these aside. I'm planning on unhauling them, trying to rationalize it in my head, but I just haven't been able to yet. Possibly keeping them, I don't know. As of right now, I'm unhauling them, so there's that. I have like 10 dislikes now. Where are we at? Then I have a Chuck Palahniuk book, Invisible Monsters. I read this in high school, and I think that my partner had gotten this for me, and I've grown out of it. I have not wanted to ever pick it up again. I feel like it was super messed up. The things I remember from it are mostly emotional based, and me being like, oh my gosh, you're horrible. I don't really have any emotional attachment to it anymore, so it's gone. Same thing with Lullaby by Chuck Palahniuk. I actually didn't get to this one. I think it was also gifted to me by my partner, and because I liked Invisible Monsters, he got me this one, and whoops, I never read it. I hope that this is not one of the videos he edits, because he's gonna take this personally. He is a Leo. Next up, these are also really big. They're also by Cassandra Clare. I'm really sorry. This is the Tales of the Shadowhunter Academy and the Bane Chronicles. I am sorry. I'm really, really sorry. I really like Magnus Bane, and this seemed to have some cool tales that maybe involved the characters I liked from the Infernal Devices series. I'm not gonna get to them in time. They're really big, they're really bulky, and that doesn't help with storage and moving, so. Okay, after that is House of Salt and Sorrow by Aaron A. Craig. This is a special OwlCrate edition, which is signed by the author. I didn't get to it, and I read the premise, and I wasn't as into it, so subscription boxes are gonna be hit or miss. This one just didn't catch my interest, and I have so many books on my TBR that I decided to just set this one aside. Hopefully it can just go to a better home. Super cool cover though. Very like nautical. Next up, another Maggie Stiefvater book is going away. I really enjoyed these actually quite a bit. They were really fun and I enjoyed the ride. But I'm going to be getting rid of Shiver, Linger, and Forever by Maggie Stiefvater. These are really gorgeous covers. I really like these editions. Yada, yada, yada. I like these books. They come in a box set. This just isn't her best work. It feels so different from the Maggie Stiefvater that I love. I never actually even think of them as hers. They were fun when I read them, but they're over. I'm done. We're good. What is with me and getting rid of nautical books? This book is gorgeous. Like, wow. Bam. I love the color of this book. I'm going to be getting rid of it because the premise didn't interest me. I've seen super low to medium reviews on it. It is All the Stars and Teeth by Adeline Grace. This isn't really my kind of premise. Mermaids aren't really my thing. Every once in a while you'll get me on a mermaid book or a pirate book, but this isn't of interest to me really, so it's also going on the stack. Gorgeous cover though. Speaking of getting rid of gorgeous covers, I cannot keep Once and Future by Amy Rose Capetta and Corey McCarthy because I hated this book. I hated it real bad. I think that it was doing a lot of really great things. All the great things that I would like to see in sci-fi and YA books moving forward, but I felt that it was poorly orchestrated and really just cheesy. I didn't have a good time. I'm getting rid of it. I just can't keep it. Along with the ARC edition, I DNF'd because it was more of the same. I can't do it. I could not imagine sticking these into my very elite set of books that are going to be shipped all the way to Japan, and I couldn't imagine having them take up another book spot in a box for later. They're gonna find a new home. Next up is a book that I felt okay about. It was okay. I mean, I guess this is an unhaul, so it's not going to be something I was in love with. This is Stormrise by Gillian Bowman. This was actually gifted to me by Hannah at the Snow White Reader. She was kind enough to see that it was on my anticipated book list, and she sent it my way. I was able to read through it, and I don't even remember if I actually ended up reviewing it. It just really flew under the radar for me. It is an ARC edition, so it will not be sold. I will be gifting it to someone, much like Hannah did for me, and I really thank Hannah for letting me read this so that I'm not pining after a book that I'm just okay for. My second to last book, that's right, we're already almost done, is Amber and Dusk by Lyra Celine. This is an OwlCrate edition. I have had it on my shelves for such a long time. I don't like the cover. I know there's some prettiness to the coloring of the cover, but I hate the cover. Like, I don't like the tulle, and the premise just didn't grab me, so if I haven't read it by now, there's so many good TBR books on my shelf that, again, I'm not doing it. It's gonna go to a better home. Then a book I'm getting rid of, I have a full review for, which was a look into how to read this book, what different words were in this book, because this book is just a lot. I finally have decided to just unhaul it so that it can reach a home that it deserves. It's not for me, and that is The Merciful Crow by Margaret Owen. Again, I have a video where I go into depth. It's a full-blown review of this. I just can't keep it on my shelves along with the other books because there are so many books that I need to keep. I'm a broken record. This is my last book that I'm going to unhaul. Oh no, there is one more. Okay, there is one more book. If you've been watching my videos, even the last few, you will not be surprised at this. If you are, I'm really sorry. I know that this might be a loss to some people. It's not a loss to me. If this is your first video from me, you're probably just gonna hit the dislike button, and that's okay. I'm fine. I am unhauling Prior of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. This book is not only disappointing to me, my most disappointing book of 2020, it's very large and very heavy. I can't send it to Japan. I also didn't like it. Why would I keep this book? I can tell you for certain, I don't know the answer, so I'm going to be unhauling it. I figured I would rip that band-aid off quickly. It's really sad. I know a lot of you enjoy it. I hope that someone who ends up having it enjoys it. I am getting rid of a total of 35 books. It's still technically not enough, but again, I'm going to be looking at storage. 35 is what I got for you for now. It's the best I can do. I would love to know if there is a certain book on this list that just tore your heart out. Go ahead and rationalize your downvote if you left one down below. I guarantee you I don't have any personal vendettas against these books. They will all find good homes. They would be stuck in a storage unit or left unloved on my shelves. So that doesn't seem like a healthy relationship. I'm gonna have them find something better. What is a book on your shelf that you dislike that you maybe keep on your shelf? That is something I'm curious about, because a lot of these books have been on my shelves for a long time and I don't like them. That's a thing that I've had to try and figure out for myself. But whether you liked this video or not, I hope you're enjoying the sun or more stars wherever you are, and until next time, bye! They're gonna hate me. Just follow me as best as you can. Maybe someone will like both sets. It's not me though. Ugh, Clockwork Prince. I really just could not stand Clary Frey. I just want to rip this band-aid off. I believe it's signed. Is it not signed? Did I just buy this? No, I didn't. Is this the Owl Crate? Fairy Loot? Madison, help me. Is this Owl Crate or Fairy Loot? These are upside down and backwards. They come in a box set. There's... Please go in. Is what was I gonna say? What did I think this book was called? I don't actually need to explain it. This is an unhaul. How do I take my thumbnail with all of these?